Hello everyone and a very warm welcome. In this particular how-to tutorial, we are going to understand Microsoft List Forms and what's new in the forms. We all have been using List as a data source from Power Apps. In the past, we used List and customized it in InfoPath or even third parties such as Nintex and used them to store valuable information. In this particular how-to tutorial, we'll see how Microsoft enhanced the Microsoft list in such a way that you have got new features that help you collect data like a pro. You will discover the new form customization options, conditional branching. In addition, you can also have control over notifications. So if you click on the app launcher, you can find the list icon. When you click on it, it will load all the list in your environment, which you have recently created or which you have recently worked with. Under My List, you will just have the list that you have created. For this particular demo, I'm going to go ahead and create a party planning app. So the party planning app will manage the guest, food, decoration, budget, schedule using SharePoint list columns. That being said, if previously we would have created a list, we would have gone into SharePoint and started creating columns. However, with the new list experience, create the columns side by side as the form gets customized. Creating the form for the list has become much easier and much more integrated. That being said, this means that you don't have to create the list first and then the form. So I'm going to go into the new list, a blank list. If you have a scenario where you can use an existing template, please go ahead and do that. But I'll click on blank list and I'll give my list a name. I'll say my list is a party planning form. I'll put this list under ESPC and I'll say create. The list has been created, but what I'm going to do, I'm not going to create columns. I'm going to straight click on forms and I'm going to click on the form icon here. So if you see, it pre-populates the columns which I have in my list, which is the title. I'm going to change the title to the guest name. I'm going to go ahead and add a logo and I'm going to give my form a meaningful name. What is the form about? It is about party planning. RSVP status. So, is a person going to attend? Yes or no? So, it's going to be a choice column. And I'll keep it simple. I'll just say yes or no. Nobody wants to miss a party, so I expect everyone to give a yes. Then I'll create another column such as food preference. So that food preference column would be, let's make it a bit interesting. Let's take up a lookup field. I can select a data source, a list. So this list would be the food preference list, and I'll take in the title column. So let me quickly go to the food preference list and let's see what is populated out here. It has veg, non-veg, vegan, and gluten free. I will select this and I will click out of it. So at this point, if you see, this is getting auto saved and you can also preview the particular form. If I click on preview, you see that the form is nicely laid out. It has yes and no, and then it has got the column, which is actually a lookup column. So complex columns such as lookup are also supported. Create another column such as party type. So the party type would be a choice column, birthday, retirement, anniversary. I can actually preview the form and I can also submit the form. So another important concept that is there is branching. So what does branching mean? So I'll take in the guest name and I'll say RSVP status. What happens if someone clicks on no? I can directly go to the end of the form. So it is like condition. So if I preview this and if I try to enter the guest name, let's say the guest is Clavin Fernandez, and if I click on RVSP, no, nothing happens, right? But if I click on RVSP, yes, the other options come up. So this is basically branching. On a condition, you can show and hide fields. It makes it much simpler to create a logic within your form with branches. So that's branching for you. And at this point, I can click on back. Now, there are a few other things that you can customize. You can actually create your own theme. I can create my own theme by selecting colors, or I can select a preset theme from here. Next, what I can do is, so when a response has been submitted, what response should come up? In this case, we can say your message has been successfully submitted, or you can say thank you. Your response has been successfully submitted. You can notify me. So what does notify me mean? It means that you will receive an email notification for every response in the form. Uh, Accept responses. So if you say that you want to accept responses between a start date and an end date, you can set up that. In fact, you can also set up a message when the end date has come. So let's say that it's today, right? Let's say that the form ends today as well. So I'll say it started on 18. Let's say that it already ended today, right? So if I go ahead and let it save itself, preview the form, it says we are not accepting any responses at the moment. So this is what the form gives you. If you want to set up a start date and an end date, go ahead and do that. You can send the form, you can copy the link, and you can send the form to anyone in the organization at this point. I've logged in as another user. I send them the link, which looks like this. And they actually, at the moment, it's not taking any responses. That's not good. So settings, accept responses, yes. And now if I go back and refresh the other user, it's accepting responses. Let's look at the flow, right? I will not type in Clavin Fernandez. I'll say editor user, say that yes, the he is coming to the party, say food preference non-veg, birthday, and submit. So here it gives you the message saying that, okay, thank you. Your response has been submitted. You can also try to create your own particular form with the try button. Now, understand this, the end user doesn't even have to go into the form, right? That's the important bit out here. Let's look at what really the main user got a notification. Actually, the user who actually filled in the form also got a notification. The notification is no response, right? It came in from no reply.sharepoint.com. That's all right. I can click on it and I can go to the item directly. So that's how it looks like. It doesn't look in the form, but it takes you to the list. Uh, I think this behavior is good, but the behavior can be a little bit better. Okay, so in the first part, we understood how you can create forms, how you can customize forms, how you can work with branches. We also saw that complex fields such as lookups are also supported. We went to the workflow. The workflow is great because, firstly, you don't have to share the list, so the end user doesn't need to have access of the list and create a new item. They can directly fill the form without knowing where the list is and they get the information. So that's perfect. That being said, we can also go ahead and have some notifications in place. So is you can click on automate and you can create a new rule. Okay, let's create a new rule out here. So let's say when a new item is created and if, right, we'll say if. Understand this, you need to choose a column. The column would be RSVP status is, and I'll choose this choice column. Understand this? If we go ahead and select the title, we need to type in. So it's better to use a choice column, and I'll say is yes. Then email me, okay, me as in Clavin Fernandez. And I'll click on create. At this point, the rule becomes available. You can have up to 15 rules. Okay. Now I'll go back into my form, click on this form, click on settings, and I'll say notify me off. Understand this. Previously, we got an email. The email was good. Now we'll go through the same flow again and we'll see the behavior and form, copy form. And I'll go to the user and I'll fill in the form again. This time I'll say the form is from editor, not user. RSVP is yes. Say it's gluten free. Say it's a birthday, and I'll say submit. Okay. The form has been submitted. Okay. At this point, if I refresh my email, the email comes in out here. Now let's change this behavior a bit. I'll go into automate, go into rules, I'll click on manage rules. So let's change the rule to no. Now, what really happens when somebody selects, I don't want a response, I don't want an email if somebody says they are not coming to the party? Click on the form, copy form, go in here, enter. I'll say good editor. I'll say no. RSVP status no. And I'll click on submit, right? At this point, the form has been submitted. But understand this, we'll wait for some time, but there should not be an email notification that comes in because there is a rule associated with it. So if you're thinking like, okay, the form gets you email notification, the rules also give you that. So the rules were available for a long time. People are not aware of the rules, so I said that let's take an opportunity and share this with you about rules. It's an alternative to Power Automate, I think, where you don't want to do some complex stuff, just get notifications, do it with rules. So I hope that you are excited about the new features. There are many new features that will be rolling out. Try them, see on how you can transform your data collection and management process. Thank you. Bye bye.